Boker Tov, good morning. We continue with a 3-minute daily dose of Torah, looking at the question about what was it that motivated and drew Yitro to come to want to be part of the faith of the Jewish people. Now I share with you the teaching of Rabbi Eliezer Hamodai in the Gemara. Matan Torah Shama Uva. What did he hear? He heard about Matan Torah, the giving of the Torah. That moment of revelation, God's voice spread across the earth. What a powerful description. Misof ha'olam ve'ad sofo, from one end of the universe to the other. And all of the kings of and all the kings were shivering and quaking in all of their palaces. So it was an awesome moment, even if you weren't standing at Sinai. It could be felt and understood and appreciated beyond. I don't know if let's pause for a second. Right, there were fireworks that were used during the recent inauguration of President Biden. So the program on that evening concluded with this massive fireworks that took place over the skies of Washington, and apparently because of the nature of the inversion, heat and cold inversion, whatever, the sound of that fireworks traveled miles and miles and miles away. It could spread far beyond the usual distance that sound would travel, and as if it were local and close. So just imagine that magnified in the awesomeness of God's revelation. So he heard about this and he came. And so firstly, there is a technical problem we have here. Technical problem is, you'll say, Rabbi Martyr, Matan Torah hasn't happened yet. That happens the next chapter. This is the first part of Parshat Yitro, and then Matan Torah takes place. And your answer will have to be that Ein Mukdam U'Meuchar b'Torah. There is no order in the Torah. Sometimes the Torah is written out of chronological order. You'll push back and say, but yeah, we only like to go to that opinion when we have kind of no other way to solve a problem. Or you can tell me a good reason why this should be so. And the answer will then be that there was a decision that was made by God, in effect, that he wanted, and we're going to pretend like Parshiot were kind of set as they are by, Mina Shemayim, as it were. The Torah portion of the revelation of God to his people wasn't going to be Parshat Moshe. It was going to be called Parshat Yitro, because it will be, we want to give deference to a person who came of his own accord, drawn to the power of God's revelation and God's message to his people, to want to be part of that. And because of that great decision on his part, the rest of the Israelites came along, because we should give them credit too. But because of this righteous convert, Yitro, he gets to have the parsha of the Torah's revelation named for him, as many of the later commentaries like to suggest. And so we ask the question, what was it that Yitro heard? And we have all the other answers about the wonderful acts of miracles that God did on behalf of Bnei Yisrael. In the end, this final teaching says, yeah, all that's nice and good. But what drew this person to God was nothing more than the God who reveals God's word, and that word draws him and matters most. I hope that we can take inspiration in this man Yitro, for all the reasons mentioned before, and especially this one, to appreciate the power of our Torah, and to hold it dear as Yitro himself did. Have a great day.